Hi, I'm Ethan Minter, and this is Gloctopus. Gloctopus is a collaboration between myself and Alex Herbiner for our game design class. This project will be due on April 16th. Gloctopus is a shoot 'em up, twin stick style game with an aquatic theme. Players take the role of Jim, a trigger-happy octopus who's traveling through various areas of the sea to take vengeance on those who wronged him. Throughout the game, he faces increasingly difficult enemies, as well as obtaining additional guns for him to use. The game will be level based. Enemies will attack the player from all directions, and the player has to survive. If the player gets hit by any attack, they die, and the game ends. The game will be single player, and therefore it will be neither symmetric nor asymmetric. The player will win the game when they defeat the crustacean boss at the end of the game. Alex created the mock-up for this game, and you'll see in the background throughout the video footage of him making and demonstrating the mock-up. We'll be creating our game using the Unity engine. The Unity engine is great for us because we lack a lot of game design skills, and it's easy to get started in Unity. In addition, we lack audio making and music making ability, so we will likely be getting our audio assets from YouTube's audio library and other free resources and libraries. For our art assets, we'll be using Piskel Editor. Pixel art is great for us because we lack art ability, and pixel art is somewhat easier to make. We'll be making the main menu for the game, in addition to a level indicator at the top and a timer showing how long the player has survived. We'll also be making various sprites for Jim, and that includes various movements that he will make, and also a different sprite for each amount of guns he can have. A core mechanic of this game will be allowing players to gain additional guns, which allows the character to shoot in several directions at once. Ultimately, possibly you could have a gun for each of Jim's 8 arms, shooting in all 8 directions. Players will use the WASD keys to move around, and will use the mouse to aim and shoot at approaching enemies. This game will play similar to games such as The Binding of Isaac, as well as Enter the Gungeon. However, this game won't have the players venturing through multiple rooms or anything like that. They'll simply be in a sort of arena where enemies are coming in at the sides. Players will fight against various enemies that have different abilities. Some may have ranged abilities, while others simply try and run at the player. One may become invincible as he approaches the player, forcing them to move quickly out of the way to try and shoot. This is all to provide a dynamic play experience that challenges players and forces them to think quickly as situations change. Due to this relatively dynamic nature, it won't be a perfect information game because the player won't know what enemies are going to come at them. Some milestones that we are setting for ourselves here. The first is we want a character that responds to controls like we want it to. Already started on that. Second milestone is enemies' behavior is correct. Third milestone is the player is able to fire in several directions at once by acquiring additional Glocks or pistols. Milestone number 4 is the game's UI has an aquatic appearance. Milestone number 5, levels are created and implemented in the game. Our 6th milestone is music added to the game. Our 7th milestone is levels are challenging but doable. And milestone number 8 is making sure that defeating the final boss ends the game. For basic time limit events as we develop this project, we've already done our first thing, which is implement basic player operations such as moving and shooting. By March 13th, we want to draw and import all the art assets and animations for our project. by March 21st, we want to create the various enemy types. For the 4th, we wish to design and implement the user interface, which we want to do by March 30th. Our 5th thing is design levels for the game. That's April 4th. And by April 11th, we want to finish designing the menus, which will complete the game at that point. That concludes our video. Thanks for watching, and we're looking forward to any questions you might have.